Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about something super important for any developer or security professional. Introducing API security in Postman. We'll be focusing on how to use Postman, a powerful tool to ensure your API is secure. So let's dive right in. APIs are the backbone of modern applications. Whether you are building mobile apps, web application or even IoT solutions, APIs are responsible for data exchange. But with that comes the need for security. We need to ensure that only authorized users can access the API, that data is safe during transmit and that there are no vulnerabilities in the system. APIs handle data between your front-end and back-end, which means they are often the entry point for attackers. If an attacker compromises your API, they can steal sensitive information, manipulate data, or even disrupt services. That's why API security is critical. We need to ensure that APIs are protected against common threats such as unauthorized access, data tampering, and injection attacks. As APIs emerge as a major surface area for attacks, it is increasingly important for organizations to invest in tooling to improve the security of their APIs. The Open Web Application Security Project now has dedicated OWASP Top 10 project for APIs launched in 2019, which provides a framework for evaluating API security. With the launch of Postman version 10, the Postman API platform now includes new features based on and extending the OWASP API Top 10 to help you devise an API security initiative that can be adopted by security teams and developers alike. These new features enable organizations to provide clear security guidelines to developers on the same platform that they use to design, build, test, and deploy their APIs. Postman now provides a list of configurable security rules for Postman enterprise teams, which can be accessed from Postman homepage. These rules, which are based on OWASP API Top 10 rules, will help you to get started with API security initiative. You can choose the security rules you'd like to enforce on API definition and request. Postman enables a set of OWASP Top 10 API security rules for your API definition and request by default. Admins in your Postman team can enable or disable these rules. If none of the default security rules correspond to the security control you'd like to implement, you can define additional rules for API definitions according to spectral guidelines and import them into the Postman API platform. Adding API security to your existing workflows. Workspaces are where developers spend most of their time in Postman. With these new API security features, developers don't have to change system, workflows, or tools to ensure they are following their organization's prescribed security policies. Instead, the checks are incorporated into their existing development workflow, enabling them to be more productive and confident. Security for API definitions. Collaborators who are designing APIs and working on API definitions need to early feedback on their API security posture. With the Postman Enterprise plan, you can use the Rule Violations tab to view each security violation along with its severity. Each security violation that corresponds to a default security rule also contains a reference to the Postman Learning Center, explaining the impact of the violation and possible ways to remedy it. Some security rules that are broadly relevant are not necessary for a particular request, so security warnings for requests can also be hidden, just like security warnings for API definitions. Once a violation is hidden, Postman will no longer highlight that violation for any further updates to the API. However, collaborators will still be able to see hidden violations by using the Review Hidden Violations link. If the API evolves to a point where previously hidden violation needs to be enforced, you can unhide it from this list. Security for API request. The Postman API platform also highlights security warnings for collection requests that deviate from the security rules configured for your team. You can access a list of these security warnings by switching to the Security tab in the API response section on Postman. As with security rule violations for API definition, each security warning is accompanied by a Postman Learning Center reference to help you to get head start in resolving the issue. Some security rules that are broadly relevant are not necessary for a particular request, so security warnings for requests can also be hidden, just like security warnings for API definitions. As with warnings for API definitions, any collaborators on the request can review and unhide the hidden warnings if the security needs of your collection change. Integrating security validations with CI/CD. The workflows mentioned above help improve your security posture, but they are only one part of the story. Even if your tooling is integrated into development, Postman warnings and violations might still be missed. We have solved this problem by making it easy for enterprise terms to automate security rule checks for API definitions at the CI/CD build stage. To do so, configure Postman CLI for the respective API and be sure to tick the security and governance rules box on the Configure Postman CLI page. You can then add the snippet shown above to your CI/CD build configuration. Once you have completed this setup process, Postman CLI will check the API definition that correspond to every CI/CD build against the security rules configured for your team. After a build run occurs, you will also be able to see any security rule violation in Postman. The Postman API platform provides a way for organizations to implement a comprehensive API security policy. You can choose to start with the set of rules that Postman provides or add your own proprietary rules. Check out the Postman Security public workspace for more resources around securing your API lifecycle and building better and more secure APIs. And that's a wrap. As we have seen today, Postman is an invaluable tool for API security testing. By simulating real-world attack scenarios and ensuring that your API adheres to security best practices, you can greatly reduce the risk of exploitation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it thumbs up and subscribe for more content on API testing and security. If you have any question or want to dive deeper into any topic we discuss, leave a comment below and I'll be sure to help out. Until next time, keep your APIs secure.